right, guys, welcome to the Space Bro Show. We're on episode, I believe it's episode 9 now. With me tonight, I have Mr. Fred, otherwise known AKA as Kato. You also,
Hey, what's up?
yeah. How are you doing tonight, Fred?
I'm doing okay.
Good, good. We also have, as always, Mr. Zealous Fox. How you doing, Zealous?
Good.
All right. So we got our great episode of the Space Bro Show tonight. So we're all still anticipating on Pins and Needles, the 2.0 release, which we hope every week will come out sooner than later. But they're making such great progress on it. We see the blockers. They're being really transparent with it. And I know we see a lot of people, both on Reddit, both in the forums, on RSI, and everything else. They're throwing it out there. They're saying, hey, this is my prediction. It'll be out Wednesday or it'll be out Thursday. And we want to just, go ahead and put it out there with everybody else. Just be patient, guys. They're knocking out the blockers. They're doing the thing. They're getting it done. Just be a little patient. And, we'll see it here in hopefully the next few weeks. I know there's a big rumor that came out today with the RTV that dropped that it's next week. It's going to happen. And, we'll get into that a little bit. But let's highlight some of the things that came out this week that are pretty positive related to Star Citizen. And things that I'm super excited about. And I know from talking to Fred and Zealous and stuff that we all are pretty pumped up about. And that's the Constellation reworks that we've seen this week. I think the Constellation reworks we've seen this week are pretty impressive. I don't know how you guys felt about it. What do you guys think from what you saw, Fred?
I mean, just listening to the work they did on the Constellation, I was really impressed by the fidelity that they got. The texture models look excellent. And then when they come out and they say, oh, we've reduced it by like 500 million polygons or something like that.
Yeah,
so
it's like what they had.
It's like, oh my goodness, it looks so much better with a lot less polygons.
Yeah,
that's really that's exciting because it means they're being more efficient and providing an absolutely beautiful product with it.
Yep, absolutely. I mean, it amazes me that they can reduce the polys, like we're saying, and come up to the next level on how it looks. Not only inside this ship, like we're seeing here in the background, but outside the ship as well. It just blew my mind, what I was seeing there. I mean, what do you think, Zealous? I mean, what was your first impressions when you saw the video?
They've already done this 20,000 times with every other thing already.
Yeah. Very true, very true. But I still can't help but be amazed. And, when I hear them saying they're doing reworks and I hear that, I get the same type of feeling. I feel all the time like, oh my God, again? Are we doing this again? Are we redoing the ship again? Yeah, I'm just like, oh my God.
But this is number 3.
Yeah. It looks so good though. It's like, it's always redemption for me for CIG is when I look at the results of what I see happening. Now, just like everybody else, I want the game, I want all the stuff, but to be able to play with this kind of fidelity in there and and everything works, all the buttons, they said they've connected all the buttons in there. I mean, it's really good. It's really good. I'm really impressed with it. I think the design aspects where they've changed it and they've added the bulkheads, as you can see some of the backgrounds and stuff. I'm really excited about that because one of the things I think we talked about in a very early episode of Space Bro Show was when we were talking about hull breaches and the fact that, like, well, if you try to EVA out where they were predicting the middle of the ship or you get a hull breach, it spaced the entire crew. Because there's no bulkheads.
Yep. And they addressed that.
Yeah, they've addressed that. It is now fixed. You will not die in a vacuum of empty darkness. You will survive in the front crew. And God forbid, maybe someday be able to take off your helmet if you're in the front part of the ship and like have guys working in the back. That'd be pretty cool.
Or be smart and have a helmet on at all times because that airlock is there for now.
For now.
Yeah, it's there for now.
And what a troll would be is like, you come from eating your pizza in the back and you go in the cargo area and it's wide open and like spaces the entire, living quarters of the ship. Like, oh my God. So this aspect I wanted to touch on though with the redesign right here. We're looking at the lower turret aspect of the Constellation and I know it was brought up not only on Reddit but on RSI forums several times that people really were interested in seeing the turret inverted like it is on the Retaliator. And they decided not to go that way with the Constellation. They kept it still the regular standard procedure on it. Now, they have mentioned that they added a tilt to the seat. So when you have an actual occupant to it, it'll like tilt forward and shift in relation to like what's not with the guns, but it kind of tilts you in so you have a better viewpoint. Because if you've ever looked when I've gotten, or if you have a Redeemer and you've gotten in a Redeemer or any of the other ships, a lot of these lower mount turrets, they really feel odd. Because you sit in them and you have the viewpoint at the bottom of the ship, but the turret isn't low enough, like where I'd picture like your head's below the line of the body of the hull of the ship. It's more that you're directly looking at the hull of the ship here, like this is, and then you have to look down at your feet to see the open space, which I think is really distracting to me. It's a wait and see. We'll have to see how it looks and feels when we get in it. Hopefully it has a good viewpoint, and that seat tilt they talked about is good. There's just a lot of stuff where they didn't want to make the thing inverted because they didn't know how people would adapt to that type of gameplay. And I don't know if they get the fact that we don't want the control scheme inverted. I want the controls to be, standard.
The same.
Yeah, the same, just with my viewpoint upside down. But, I mean, I don't know. Because they didn't do that with the, the Retaliator. They didn't make the control scheme for the bottom turret inverted. Because we've seen people get it in the buggy version where they spawned it and they were fine moving around. But I don't know. We'll have to see. I think it's going to be a little distracting to me if you can't get that good open glass viewpoint to shoot, and I'm always looking at the hull of my ship and then shooting at my feet. It's going to be weird. We'll see.
I mean,
what? What's your guys' stance on inversion versus the non-inverted turns?
It kind of makes sense lore-wise to have it that way.
What, standard or inverted?
Standard.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's a lot easier to manufacture, probably, than to have your chair flip upside down.
I would suppose so, yeah. I could see that aspect. I mean, if you look at it as they zoom out, it's a wide open cockpit, but it's still, I don't know.
I understand completely why they didn't do it. Okay. They talked about it, and they're like, well, we would have to go back and completely rework all the mechanics, the animations, all that. Like, to go through and do that, I completely understand why they didn't do it. And at the same time, like, I don't understand. Okay, so people are saying, okay, there's visual barriers. Why don't they do something where it's like, okay, your helmet goes on and you get, like, an AR or VR interface that, like, you're not even exposed to glass.
I would love that. And I think
essentially running a turret, looking through your helmet, like, just pew, 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 and it doesn't even matter if you're looking outside the damn ship.
And I think it'd be cool to see a ship variant that has turrets that does that, and I would like to see that model actually on the Capitals. Where you have the point defense weaponry or anything, any manned turrets they allow there. I don't think on a capital ship, much like the ships of a battleship, has no relevance to you having glass in front of you, right? You're using a targeting system, you're firing out there. I would like to see those type of implemented VR helmets like what you're talking about, where you just see the radar on the inside of your helmet or glass there, and you're not exposed out to the elements like that. And I could see that working on these size ships, too. It's a great idea.
Yeah.
I really like that.
Those two like stations on the Freelancer, like you're gonna have displays on right there that you control. Oh, the guns, the side guns, right there.
Absolutely. I do like the idea of actually being inside the turret though, and having it solid steel, like blacked out, like a true like bunker type aspect, and then you're kind of like, rotating the turret through your helmet, and it's all VR, so it's like a blackout thing. Much like Apache pilots do at night raids, because they don't see anything out there. They're entirely off their VR units and their helmets and everything like that. They're instead of like touring the landscape of the desert, like, oh, look at all those guys. They're full night vision and all signature infrared. Absolutely. That's how they're piloting and manning all the guns and stuff on the ships.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think at any means, like, by any means does it seem like it would be like gimmicky to do something like that because, like you said, we do that in real life. You
Yeah,
know, no visibility, no problem. We'll just throw a screen up there for you to look at.
absolutely.
You know why? I don't know why that there would be an issue with
I
that.
think that's a great idea, and I could also see a lot of gameplay evolving from that because ships like that might appear more powerful. Maybe they have more defense capabilities and stuff because they're not in these like hollowed turrets. But at the same time, maybe they're more EMP susceptible or something because they can knock out your VR or your electronics and stuff, and then
Right.
then you're truly blind. I mean, so in order to create a counterbalance to some of that, so I can see some cool aspects of that. Maybe the turret has a lot more hit points on
Yeah.
the turret itself, or those type
Yeah,
of things. So.
I think they just want as much visibility out of these ships as possible because they want to show off the universe that they're creating.
I understand, and I agree. I think it's a great idea for the initial ships. I just hope they mix it up a little bit and don't get so locked into the standard versus inverted and all this stuff. But I mean, you can see on a lot of the larger capital ships that those aren't like glass turrets on those on a lot of those. So I'm hoping they go with your idea, Fred, and they go with the whole VR systems, targeting control, all that type of stuff, and make it a little bit more up to date. I know they like to
Right.
keep the World War II aspect, and I'm totally into that. But I think the user interface, you can do some other things than just what they've done so far. Outside of that, they're absolutely effing beautiful. I mean,
Yes.
everything's beautiful about the design, the way they went about it. It looks so good. It's really awesome. And to continue through the ship outside, like the turret thing. I love what they've done here with the interior of what they're calling the neck of the ship now, which is like the living quarters. Well, not the living quarters there. This is the, they had the living quarters in here, didn't they? Inside
Yeah.
where you have the galley and all that. The space toilet. Yeah, they do. So they call it the neck of the ship, I guess is what they're calling it, at least in this stream. So you'd have, let me go back here a little bit,
That's where the shower and the pooper and
which is hilarious that you get this is such a man bathroom there. But I'm gonna go a little bit before that. I love the aspect of where they have the similar you've seen in the ship before with the wraparound couch, the little L-shaped couch, and they've made the tables and stuff go into the floor. That's amazing, right?
I love how they they put all the shit in there
Yep.
without making it bigger.
And they made it feel more open. It's much designed like what the space shuttles, space station that we use currently is, right? I mean, they've tried to cram as much stuff into a small space, but still give it some openness. So you have the design is so much better. You have the airlock there where it drops down, the whole floor goes down. You can now, instead of having I won't call it stupid because it was interesting design, but the little railing on the previous build where you could have like one guy go down by himself, maybe two, and the little drop down and all that stuff. Now, as many people as you can fit on the platform go down, and their initial thing is they're hoping the entire crew can, all five. So you can have all five people go down out the airlock at once. You have the table in front of the couch, which you can just drop it down. If you're not utilizing it as a surface area, you can have all that extra space, and you could raise it back up. I'm wondering if you could store extra cargo because of this design, too. Like, you could actually sit stuff around, or, depending on how they go with the cargo aspects as it goes on. That'd be kind of interesting too. And the whole kitchen folds up into the cabinets there on the left-hand side. It's all integrated into those drawers and shelves, and then they go forward into the bathroom aspect that what Fred was alluding to, which is such a man's bathroom because it's the only bathroom / shower that I've seen where you could actually wash your hands, use the toilet, and take a shower at the same time. And it'd be acceptable because you have all the facilities to do it. Because you can technically do that in an actual shower, but now it's like, honey, there's a toilet. It's okay.
oh,
Peeing in the shower is now all right because you can stand up and it's like, look, I'm sanitary all the way. I got my hair washed, my hands washed, and I can take a leak all at the same time. Impressive design, CIG. I want to see this implemented in real life. This would be an awesome shower. But the one thing I think would be real annoying is if you go out there to take a dump and you get hit in the head with the sink all the time. That would
like the latch fails and just knocks you out.
It's like, goddamn, Constellation always there and hit it there and
Knocked out into toilet.
Yep.
Yeah.
Toy's got a good point. Normally don't most chat, but the whole shit, shower, and shave would absolutely be appropriate right here in this type of aspect. So it's good. Good analyzation there. But yeah, the one thing they did, and they cut it out of this speed view here, the little summary one of the walkthrough. But the one comment I thought that was interesting is like, well, where would you put the toilet paper at?
I know he yelled at him for it.
Yeah,
he's like, "Where's the toilet paper?"
Yeah, but even they got the weapons rack there. They got the locker systems, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lockers, and then these escape pods, pretty awesome. Not only beds, and they look so good. I love how they're going.
They look amazing.
I love how they're going with this glass stuff, with the glass and the final thing. Yeah, it's so open. Glass is awesome.
Yes, it's beautiful. I mean, because
I just hope
the
it whole
glass
shatters when you get shot inside the ship, though. I hope it all like explodes everywhere.
Yeah, time will tell.
Yeah, but yeah, the glass gives you all the mechanics. You see so much of the mechanics. It makes you truly appreciate the way that it's all set up. But yeah, beds that double as escape pods, as I always have, but now it just looks so much better.
No, that looks amazing.
I just can't. Every time they redo this, and this is part of the problem, I think, because every time they redo it, I'm impressed even more. But, this is good enough, guys. Hopefully, this
I know.
please don't do any more to it. It's so beautiful. If you make it more beautiful, I'll probably just die. So just stop it. So we'll get the game.
Just give us a game.
Give us the game. So they'll move here back to the cargo hold and go through that real quick, which looks amazing. You know, we can say it all day. Oh, it looks amazing. All the LED lighting's good. You know, we can go with lighting. If you want to focus on lighting, tweaking lighting, guys, F my hangar. Do more of this. This looks good. I don't care about the hangar. I'm going to be out here in this type of stuff. I want to see that.
Oh, those missile racks.
This is the highlight right here. The missile racks. Oh my God. That is amazing. And he said, and I quote, you can actually see the missiles cycling out and all that stuff as they're fired. Because they're the physical missiles that are in there. So you'll be able to see them, like, if you're back in this area, which if you're in a firefight, you probably shouldn't be. But if you're back in this area, you'll be able to see the missiles eject out and fire out and sequentially just go up the racks.
It's like the only person that should be going out there during a combat is a guy going into the back of the ship getting the Merlin out.
Yep, that's true. Getting the Merlin out. Which, that's another amazing aspect here. I'm not a huge Merlin fan, you know? I don't care that much about the Merlin. But I can very much appreciate how they've done the docking thing, which I think they've made it less convoluted, right? Very simple design, very eloquent design, and it looks really good. I mean, really good. Just nestles up there, the cockpit just nestles up in there. It's got a little, if you look at it from the perspective, I saw it when we go to the exterior of the ship, you'll see the little nose clamp. You'll see the little thing on there where it goes in there. But for flying, you literally fly into the hole, right? And then it will air lock you in and you just get out of the ship. That's awesome. It doesn't have some apparatus like they were looking at before. They were looking at some...
that thing was so ugly.
It was horrible. It looked like made it look like a Merlin anchor or something, like you were towing an RV like behind you or something. It was weird.
Yeah, it's the fifth wheel.
Yeah, it was so bad. So bad. But this is so much more eloquent.
It's so complicated and it's so ugly, and ugly in the bad way, not like the A10 ugly.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it was really bad. And then, you know, we'll move to the exterior, we can see it. And honestly, the exterior view of what I saw was what sold me on the Merlin design, because you can almost not even see the Merlin. I mean, it's like nestled to the ship very well. So, front end looks amazing. We saw some of this when we were watching some of the demo on the explosions and stuff, because they've had this outside aspect done there, and it's going to be really good. They've talked about already that both Merlins would fit in that little slot there, because it's got the same main hull design. But we'll kind of speed through this part, but it looks so good. I mean, even the amount of detail where they went here by the turret, and you can see, like, they got the stickers and stuff and the LED lights all behind the turret. Stuff you'll never see unless you EVA outside the ship and, like, look in between the turret and there. They've gone through and mapped all that. And here where they have the little MK4 labels and stuff, all the avionics inside there, inside the wings and the thrusters and stuff with the turbines, They don't have it all mapped in, but he said if you blow off these panels, and he shows you as he dives into them, once those things are fixed and rotating there, you can see them. You'll see, like, mechanics working underneath the ship as you blow it apart. So you might want to pause when you're destroying one of these, and you'll be able to see inside these cylinders there'll be fan blades. And they'll be rotating around. So it's like actually being able to, you know, tear apart a car and see the motor working still as you destroy it slowly. It's so cool. I love the material finish they did too. It's so good. I mean, and there's the top of the escape pods. So you have the escape pods. They made it really look synchronous. And he even talked about the detail of adding like these little C4 packs. Look, they're like a little explosive in the bottom left-hand corner right there you can see. That way they'll actually blow out and eject out. I mean, it's... I don't know what I'll say. Besides, it's just amazing. We'll get a shot of the bottom port here real quick. So we can look at the... I think it's right... There it is, right in here. Look at how this Merlin nestles in there so beautifully and seamlessly. I mean, there's the back shot. That looks so much better.
The nacelles, those are amazing. I like the new rework of those. The intake and everything. It looks just beautiful.
Look at the profile of this Merlin, guys. Is it like it's so
it's a lot
good?
smaller.
Oh
Yeah.
my god!
If they just change it to the same gray, you would like not even know.
Yeah, I do
Right.
like it contrast so you can see if it's there or not. Especially if you're if you're a person attacking this, you can see if it's docked or not docked. Could be relevant tactically too. So I like that aspect. But you know, when you get later on down the road, when you get the custom paints and stuff, who knows? I mean, people might paint this thing blackout if that capability comes online in the next year or two. So we'll just see. But
That would be really annoying.
I don't even see anything. It's blackout. You wouldn't see anything. It's all radar. It's like, what was that? Until they lit up all those turns at you. Love the landing gear, too. Much better. Than what they call the old landing gear set, the skis. Because it was so high.
Yeah, like landing skis.
Landing skis. Yeah, it was really good. Really good stuff. So,
And if this doesn't just like come out of it now, it like forms to the lower nacelles.
and everything does really. I mean, everything's really integrated in the ship well. And then what he did was he added a lot of detail to everything. So it made it stand out and stand on its own two legs with every aspect of the ship. From the interior work that they did to the exterior work, it really form-fit the ship and identified what type of vessel it was a lot more than what we've seen in the past. So, there you go. Followed up with RTV, we went into, obviously, Reverse the Verse today, which, you know, no fault of CIG. Has not been overly exciting because there's not a whole lot of information out there, you know, for stuff. And some of the stuff they did allude to was like we saw at the end of ATV, the sneak peek of the Freelancer. They talked a little bit about that. Not much. But most of the questions were the same as what they always are. People were asking about 2.0, where we're going to see that, how that's going to go, all those things. And the one, what we alluded to before and briefly discussed, that everybody's pulling out of this transcript here, was the fact that they said, basically, they're not going to move people while 2.0 is closing down. Which means, you know, wrap it up, getting ready for release. And, you know, they said just one more week. Now, of course, most of us would take that and run with it and say, hey, you know, that means that it's out in a week. Because, you know, they're not going to move the rest of the office for a week, and they don't want to move them while the thing's going. So within the next week, we should see 2.0. But in reality, they've said repeatedly they don't know for sure because it's while the content's there, they're just bug testing and building new releases for it. So I think that they're desperately trying to get it out before the anniversary sale. Whether they'll hit that goal or not, I don't know. I really don't.
Very, very possible that they could do it, but
It's possible. But they've also talked about in recent time here with the main update, which we'll get to next, is like they've had some incidents too. They had one of their main programmers broke his wrist that was working on like some of the 2.0 stuff. So, especially the FPS aspects. So it's like, they've had some Murphy's Law stuff happen. If it can happen, it will happen. So, take it for what it's worth. They're trying to get stuff done. They're wrapping up. Same thing as always. The one more week comment, I don't know. It could be relevant. It could not. I thought I'd mention it because they thought is important enough to highlight here too. So they talked about now they're talking about the next great Star Marine. I don't know if you guys listen to this at all. Next great Star Marine is supposed to be like the next great Starship, similar format. You have Omar Forrest, Skelton, Sean Tracy, and Chris Roberts, and a guest judge. And the prerequisite is designing your own helmet. Actual competition is for a Class 9 Titan suit, which is one of the bits of the lore everybody's excited about seeing games. So they're going to do a contest to get one. So I guess you can design your own helmet, right? Under the parameters of stuff. And they're going to be doing this next great Star Marine. I guess they're just trying to reel in the FPS aspect of it. So there's some cool, if you have cool designs and all that stuff, there's more about it on Reddit. There's some of it on, I don't know if there's a lot of it on RSI yet. I saw a post on Reddit go up that wasn't labeled as official, but I think it was from Sean Tracy. So
it might be on the official like Twitter or
it might be. It's out there, but it hasn't really been highlighted. It's kind of like something they inserted to the mix before they even really started telling anybody about it. So we'll have more details as they get more details. We'll give you guys more details about it and tell you when it is and all this stuff. They haven't labeled times or frames. They're just kind of putting the thought out there, saying we are planning on doing this, and just looking for a little bit of feedback on it. So give them feedback, guys, as you always do.
Well, the thing is, the helmet, if they're just doing a helmet, this is the preliminary. It's just to weed out majority of the stuff.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
It's probably going to be a full body suit and maybe a gun and stuff.
Well, yeah, but like everything, they'll adapt it to how they want it to be. So I think they're just looking for some design cues to get the community involved, obviously, in the development of it, like they did with the ships, which they got some amazing stuff for the community on the ships. So I'm excited to see what people come up with helmet stuff. It should be pretty cool. They
remember that that skull helmet,
the one with the hologram in it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's what I'm thinking about right now. It's like,
I can see a great Overwatch helmet with the hologram in the image there, where you could have like a skull gas mask like superimposed inside the helm too, and all that. It'd be pretty cool. It's like I call it the ID blocker hologram stuff, so like that way it masks out the face of people, but people can still see through it. It'd be pretty neat.
It's the equivalent of the ski mask.
The ski mask of today, or the old bandana around the face for the old banditos of like Wild West days. So now you have a hologram superimposed on there. That'd be kind of neat. So they talked also about they had the sneak peek, which we mentioned. There was the concept art for the Freelancer interiors, developed by Foundry 42. They're just hammering all that stuff out. They're making sure that the escape mechanics are working, and this is something that Ben went into more detail about. A lot of stuff with the the drama over the Cutlass and everything else that they've really been diving into is the fact that they want all ships of that multi-crew type size to be able to have proper escape pods, ejection, those type of things. So depending on the type of ship, some of the ships they designed in the beginning, there's no way to eject from them. You're in it to win it. That's it. It's a flying coffin, as I like to call the Cutlass. So, and I can accept that, but at the same time, they want to be able to give that the love it needs to offer those other aspects to it. So, I can appreciate that they want to have some ejection and all that stuff. Freelancer, I don't know how you do that. Freelancer's not a fighter cockpit type thing. So, Cutlass, absolutely. Freelancer, I don't know. I don't get that
Yeah.
at all.
Yeah.
So maybe they'll go. Hopefully they'll do the bed aspect and all that with the freelancer, I would think. But they're definitely looking at all the different escape mechanics and how they integrate and do those type of things with them all.
Well, they definitely, they have the beds in the freelancer to support that sort
Yeah.
of system.
Which I think that's what they're going to go with. If you have those type of beds inside the ship, I think they're
Right.
going to go with the pod ejection system. If
I
you
found
have
a
the
new
fighter
one.
pilot stuff, then you're going to end up finding the other way. So,
Yep.
Check this out.
we got.
I'll link in the Twitch chat.
Oh, for the Buccaneer?
This is a new picture of.
Oh, yeah, with the skulls like that, Frontier Buccaneers.
It's made by the same guy, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. Unlikely. He's done a lot of modification images of some of your stuff. I want to see a helmet integration that has like almost a gas mask look to it, though. But then you can do the skull like that, because then it'd be the skull gas mask thing, and it'd be really neat.
It's made by the same person.
Yeah. That's cool. Moving on, though, we got, the Cutlass post went out and all that stuff, but we're not going to go real heavy into that. It's a very turbulent issue at this point. People aren't happy. Some people, are looking for what they want out of the Cutlass. And since they kind of in the beginning called it the Everman ship and the pirate ship and all this stuff, everybody over the past 2 to 3 years of development has kind of looked at it in a different way and hoped it would be this one catch-all ship. And I think they're leaning towards splitting the bracket of what the Cutlass will be. So for those people that have heard about the Buccaneer and stuff, I encourage you to get involved in the posting and stuff. Don't be trollsy and hateful, especially if you're passionate about the Cutlass. Try to be constructive, guys, because it's like they're working on it. But the Cutlass, obviously, like we talked about with the escape designs and all that stuff, was built before the current flight mechanics were even in effect. They didn't know how to make the Cutlass fly, so they basically rigged it up. They've done that with several ships, and all the Vanduul ships. They kind of rigged it up, and they're going to have to make some changes. I mean, they are. They're going to keep the overall main design aspect, but they're going to have to make some changes, variants, and our stuff. That's just kind of the way it's going to go. So don't hold up all the rest of us, you Cutlass lovers. I like the Cutlass, but I'm just saying, it'll come down the pipe. It'll be beautiful, and you'll love it. And if we get an extra pirate derivative type ship out of it, awesome sauce. That's good. What?
I remember the first ever showing of the Hornet flying in game. The physics for the ship were not flying in space. It was the physics were basically telling in the ship it was a submarine.
Yeah, for the drift and all that stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, it was
funny.
like the engine thought it was driving through water, not floating in space.
Well, I guess it's better than being in an airplane. Because then it would crash into nothing. Gravity is wait a minute. Why am I falling down? There is no down. It's like...
Down is up, up is down. No,
Yeah, you just follow whichever way you roll the ship. Crazy. So yeah, they also talked about the weekly CCU downgrade has been approved, which is still weird the way they put that. They're still working on all the downgrade elements and stuff so that we can maintain packages still and then break down and offer some more aspects of that. So they should have some more information coming out about that soon. They're talking about the big stream next week. That's really the main news of what they had out there. But the stream next week is going to be a 3-hour stream. It's going to occur during normal ATV times, right? And it should be Sandy and Chris. And this is for the anniversary stream, I think they're doing, right? Isn't it on Thursday, I believe?
Yes,
I
Thursday.
believe, yeah, Thursday. So hopefully they'll have some really cool stuff to show us. They're saving a lot of stuff, and I think that's why some of the ATVs and the reverses have been pretty dry. Chris, he's got to have some Wowza ammo, or he just doesn't feel like it's, that's great. But it kind of made me a little nervous when he was like, one of the big updates is about the joystick, and I'm like, that could be a post. I don't need the marketing speech about how awesome the joystick is. It's like, that's great. Are you gonna, I don't know.
Yeah, that's definitely something that, yeah, it's cool, but does it deserve 30 minutes or 45
Yeah.
minutes during a stream or convention or whatever to talk about? I don't think
A
so.
3-hour stream. I'm like, we'll see how much of the section. That will base you how much content they really have. If they talk about the joystick for half an hour,
Yeah.
so there you go.
Well, they say it was like a 3-hour stream.
Yeah. I still don't want to hear about a joystick for half an hour.
I don't think they're doing a convention. It's just the stream.
It's
That's
just
like the
stream.
anniversary.
It's
Yeah,
just a
there's
stream.
no like convention or anything.
Nope.
So the 3-hour stream is the anniversary shindig.
Yeah. Because they didn't want to tie it all in to where Thanksgiving hits and all the other stuff, so they're trying to get it all knocked out here next week.
Well, just be glad it's not like one of their last anniversary streams where it was 24 hours of them just streaming. Because
What's wrong with that? I mean, they could do like 3 hours of actual content and then like a 24-hour. I don't have an issue
Do you
with that.
think- and don't you think that's better used of actually working in the game than chatting with us?
The people that do the streams and stuff have very little to do with the development of the game. They are media
No,
PR people. So
My thing is, if
I have
they,
no issues with them.
I have
hanging
no
out.
issues either. If they have content to present to us to like keep us busy for 3 hours, I am into it. I don't care if it's them just bullshitting with us asking questions.
Well, obviously, it's not going to be 24 hours of content. But the thing is, it's like if they were available for like 8 hours and they're just like sitting there playing Wing Commander or some stupid shit like that, but just being available to be like, hey, let's talk about the game, and
think
like
next
interfacing with people.
Next
I
aspect
think
should
that'd
be
a lot.
in studio webcams watching every station so you can see anybody what they're doing from afar. Oh, look, they're working. Oh, he's taking a sandwich break. You can't have a break, damn it. Get back on my game, working on it right now. That's it. It's like that.
Yeah, we should submit that to a TV channel to be picked up as Big Brother Star Citizen edition.
Well, who knows if you tell Chris that we need to pay $50 a month to watch the live Star Citizen developmental stream, they might do it. Like, you can watch Toast in a Box answer like legal emails all day long. It's like, here's Toast in his cubicle. He's answering legal emails all day. I'm like, yeah.
Toast is the most awkward lawyer.
He is the most non-traditional lawyer.
He's
I've
like
ever
the
seen.
guy
It's
in the corner sitting there like, what's going on?
Yeah, he's like, I'm eating
But
my
he says,
cereal.
don't say anything.
Yeah, you
Don't
guys.
say anything.
There you go.
I actually got to watch RTV today live, so
There you go. Yeah.
well,
Well,
most of it.
yeah. There wasn't enough of content in RTV for it to be as long as it was. 'Cause they had 26 minutes of bullshitting and then actually went into the actual stream, and it's like, there you go. So yeah, outside of that, RTV, that's about all it really wielded. Just trying to calm people down about the Cutlass post. Tell you, 2.0 will be ready when it's ready. They're trying to get it done. It's content locked. They are just working bugs. And there's no way to estimate how long bugs take, because every time they fix bugs, if there's new bugs that crop up, they're going to have to fix those bugs before they're going to give it to us. So, there you go.
And anybody that's ever done programming knows this too well, and
Absolutely.
it's a pain in the ass.
Absolutely. There's
Even
no
if
way to
you're
do
doing
it.
the most simplest thing ever.
Time estimates are hard. They try to do them, but they're not going to tell us them, because, it's like... They're fixing the bugs every night. They explain... Actually, the one thing I do appreciate is Ben did go into detail about exactly their fixing process of, like, how everything works, basically, with, this studio gets up in the morning, because since they have the global studio set up, they go over, they apply the next patch, QA tests it, they send out their report, then it hits over here, they do a new build, then it cycles back through, then this studio's back awake. So if you think about it, having the global studio where instead of working against itself in this process, you have all day for somebody to test it when these guys are sleeping, and then they can submit the report for like, okay, these are the bugs that need to be fixed. They go to bed. These guys get up and they can start doing the patch, and then they send it back over, and then the other guys can start testing again. So having the different time zones in this aspect is probably actually more efficient, because you can't program when you're testing.
They've definitely like told us that's how it worked, but whenever we go around and do the studio reports for the ATVs, I don't get the impression that all the other studios in the different time zones are actively working on 2.0. They're working on different projects. So yeah, they tell us that, okay, you know, they kind of pass it back and forth over the time.
Well, I don't think
for the time differences, but like,
yeah.
Go ahead, Zal.
I don't think that, like, everybody's, like, what they're saying is everybody is working on deck, working on 2.0, because they can't. If they stop working on certain things, that means certain things are not being done that need to be done and being worked on continuous as well. Just like,
I think 2 weeks ago.
I'm not saying you're exactly right, Zealous. You know, it would halt progress on everything else, but the way they explain it to us, in that, okay, it's great that everyone's in a different time zone, because as soon as we, you know, take off for the day, the other teams pick up where we left off, and it's like, I don't think that actually happens. That's all I'm saying.
I agree. I don't think that actually happens, but I think the one thing that we're missing there on that whole aspect is 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, I think they had all hands on deck working on it. Once they've actually said this became content locked, I think there's nothing for them to work on, because some of these guys are content creators. They aren't QA. Now that it's in the hands of QA, there's no way the whole studio is working on 2.0, because they might be working on next patches for it, or some elements that go into like what they want for 2.1 or whatever. But there's not. You're not going to have Foundry 42 working on it. You're not going to have, you know, a lot of these other people. It's basically going to go from development of the patch over to Austin, and they do QA team, and then the rest of the group are still working PU and everything else. They're not going to be working on 2.0 release, because they've already done the content for that release. It just needs to be tested and tweaked and tested and tweaked. So you can't have the whole company doing that. So I think you're both right in that aspect. But at the same time, I think the original statement of we have all hands on deck was like 2 weeks ago, where they're really nailing that down and they were trying to push it out there. And I think maybe now that type of development cycle is happening with the bug testing, but I don't think that's a traditional developmental thing. I think that's something new of what they're doing, since they're in this pattern of trying to fix it and trying to test it and trying to fix it and trying to test it. But I agree with Fred. I don't think that's the normal pattern of how they develop anything there. I think that when he puts all hands on deck, you have like some mass chaos that happens for a little bit while everybody's trying to, oh my god, fix it, Chris Robertson, do it now. It's like everybody does that.
Well, even if they're not just passing them off back and forth constantly, they're still working on the game 24/7.
Oh yeah, well that's their job. So you could argue that aspect, that the community manager is working 24/7, because he might not be physically programming the game, but he's doing all the other stuff to keep us informed.
I'm talking about like, because they split everything up even more now, because
I know.
Like Foundry 42 was making like all the ships for 442, but no, they changed their mind on that. Now they said Foundry 42 is now specifically working on, I think, Aegis dynamic ships. And then Austin's doing something else, and then Montreal's doing something, and another one. So,
well, it made sense from the aspect that they wanted certain people and groups in certain areas working on certain ships, and since they're trying to develop these style guides, it makes sense for communication aspect to have the people working on certain brands of ships in the same physical location, because
so they can talk to each other.
It's a lot easier, or at least time zone, even if they're not in the same physical location. It's a lot easier for me to talk to you guys that are in similar time zones to me than it would be to work with somebody in Manchester, you know, about doing some other aspect of you know, something design or developmental or anything like that, because we're not even going to be awake at the same times all the time. It makes
Unless
it really
you just
difficult.
somebody's working at Manchester time.
Yeah, which is unrealistic if you have a life. But you know, it's like you could try to do that. could try to do that. But yeah, anyway, I digress. It was overall didn't have a lot of information. I think they responded very well with trying to describe their current pattern of development, where they're at right now with 2.0 and explaining that. I think they also have done fairly well with getting out the information that's pertinent. There's just not a lot of info right now, and people just got to be patient. Once we have 2.0 drop and we see and people are trying to play it and do all this stuff, it's going to be kind of crazy. I'm sure there's going to be some angry people then too, and some happy people as well. But at least we'll have something more to talk about than if, when, or why we'll get this thing. I think once we have it, at least we'll be able to talk about how to change it, what's wrong with it, what's right with it, what we like about it, what we hate about it, and then we can go on from there as a community. So that'd be good. They also mentioned the subscriber flare for this month that came out, for those of you who are subscribers. It's actually pretty cool. It's a small head of some sort of, I don't know if they said bug. They called it a Magnus skull. I don't know. It was an aquatic.
A sea monster, or not a sea monster, but a creature about 12 meters long. It's can't remember the system. I know it was like the fourth planet system. So basically, it's about the size a predator size of a merlin or a whale.
There you go.
So
pretty big predator.
It's a lot better than a space rock.
A lot better than a space rock.
I like the space rock.
The space rock's actually kind of cool because it actually reacts, but
I wasn't really excited about the rock.
Hey, get off my space rock, man.
Well, that's probably because I like rocks in real life, so.
That's true. That's true.
But they said that the space rock was supposed to have arc and electricity off it or something like that. I never actually seen it do that though.
Yeah, I've never seen that reaction here because I do remember them mention that as well, and I don't remember ever seeing that actually occur. So
we're running out of time, by the way.
Yeah, we are. We're getting a little long on time here, guys. So we are going to wrap it up. Thank you, Mr. Cato. Thank you, Mr. Zost, for hanging out with us tonight. Once again, deep dive into what we love about Star Citizen for this week and what we've seen happen. And make sure to hang with us tomorrow. I'd also like to send a couple other thoughts, for everybody out there, for my friend Jack and everybody out there who did that private donation thing. I'd like to give you a lot of props for, supporting the veterans on Veterans Day. They did a great little mini stream over on Hitbox for that. We gave them a little bit of moolah on that one. That was cool. We'd like to thank everybody who supported the birthday stream that we did for me. I greatly appreciate you all. Thank you guys for hanging out. And I'd also like to wish my friend Francine over in France. Hopefully she's still being safe and all that stuff with all the hostilities and all that stuff. Supposedly everything's calmed down. If you guys haven't been following the news with the terrorist attacks out there and stuff like that, it's been kind of crazy. Now over 100 confirmed dead, which is not cool at all. But hopefully she's staying safe and everybody else is. And we look forward to talking to our brothers and all the people that watch us over in that part of the world. To know that they're all good and safe too. And guys, just keep gaming, stay inside, be safe, and we'll see you next week on the Space Bro Show. And for those who are going to hang out, always tune in for the after show after the stream. So we'll see you here in a little bit. You guys have a good night.
Have a good night, everyone.
All right.